All right, appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Since everybody like this hat so much, I throw it on once again. Everybody like this one, and I got this hat to go with a hoodie I had, but hey, that's nor here nor there. Let's talk some NBA while I'm on the road, getting ready, leaving the credit union, getting ready to go to the grocery store. Give me the power, stock up on some more Powerade and Gatorades. Them boys like 85 cents. But we in the building, man, and Paul George explained to Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles, I think it's called the Knucklehead Podcast, actually met Quentin Richardson in Detroit at the Big Three last year. I was looking forward to going back this year, but shout out to Chicago, though. We're going to talk about Paul George, and also we're going to talk about Nikola Jokić catching the coronavirus. And I ain't want to say I told you so, but I told all of y'all do so, but we'll talk about that later. All right, Paul George talked about a series of events that led up to him leaving Indiana. And what pisses me off is when a fan base gets mad, at a player for making a decision to lead a team. All right, we do have instances where, fan bases get mad at teams for getting rid of players. In Detroit, famously, a lot of people got mad when they got rid of Adrian Dantley in Detroit. I mean, most old-timer Piston fans can tell you that. But you know what? We got to learn to never get mad at the player for making a business or a personal decision on his behalf. And, we got to keep that same energy for the team. And it's okay, man, to have loyalty to players. I used to think that was kind of lame, but it's really not. I'm not even knocking people who loyal to Brown and loyal to, Zion or whatever. I ain't knocking because at the end of the day, you can be loyal to a team, and a team can pull some serious whole move. So what Paul George said, it was this, all right? He kind of listed the things that went up to him leaving. One of the things was how they treated Danny Granger. Danny Granger had a serious injury, and long story short, Danny Granger basically needed the team doctors to help him nurse him to health that knew him best, and they traded him away. I think he got traded to Miami or something like that, and he never recovered. So his career was like basically over with. And basically what he's saying is that Danny Granger got chewed up and spit out, and he didn't like how the organization treated Danny Granger. All right, that was one bullet point. Second, he woke up and found out that George Hill was traded, and he was pissed about that. Now, I would have been more pissed about them trading for George Hill and giving up Kawhi, but in hindsight, nobody knew Kawhi was going to be that good, but Greg Popovich. But, he was mad at them trading George Hill. He said he not one of them dudes that want the organization to have his cosign to make moves, but he would have kind of liked to knew they was going to move away from George Hill. All right? And, I feel him, because they was close a few years to beat Miami. David West was doing good. Roy Hibbert, he would show up sometime. And another bullet point was he was at All-Star Weekend in New Orleans. I think 2017 was All-Star Weekend he speak of. And he wanted to, he sat down with the Pacers, during the All-Star Weekend in New Orleans. And they assured him that he wasn't going to be traded, okay? He said he had been hearing his name in trade rumors, for quite some time. And he said basically that he came to talk about in New Orleans, and they asked, during the All-Star Weekend, they asked him, the Pacers, do you want to be here? He said, I want to be here, And basically he expected all the trade rumors to stop. And then he said after they talked, they started shopping him again, entertaining offers from him again. So he got, he kind of got mad at that point. And then, he said the best power forward in the game wanted to hoop with him in Indiana. And Indiana said they couldn't afford it because they was a small market. You know what I'm saying? So they said they couldn't afford to have, this guy come in. And I'm going to talk about who I think it is. He said he got mad because they weren't trying to win. And then he said they countered with two other players, one coming off an injury and another cheaper top. He said they countered with another guy coming off injury, and I believe he said they countered with a top 25 power forward. So you went from the best power forward in the game to a top 25 power forward. And he said they just don't get it. And he said when they didn't want to bring in that top power forward, he said he asked them to get him the hell up out of there. He said Indiana, he always wanted to play in LA, but he looked up to Kobe, and Kobe staying with the Lakers his whole career. That's what he wanted to do in Indiana, and he didn't want to leave Indiana. But everybody vilified him that he was the enemy, that he didn't want to stay loyal to Indiana. I don't knock no player that want to go play where they want to go play at, because this organization will cut you just like they did Danny Granger. Granger gave a lot to that organization, you know what I'm saying? And they just cut him. They cut him for no reason. You feel me? When he got injured, and they just cut him off when he needed their doctors that knew him best to rehab him. So I feel Paul George, and they vilified Paul George, and they booed him when he came back, I believe, and all that shit. But simple, small market teams can't afford it in the NBA. Even though for most of these owners, so every owner in the NBA is it's a necessity. It's like having a nice little Ferrari. It's a toy. You know what I'm saying? It's not their main source of income. That's why I don't understand why more teams don't go after it, But then again, like any other business, you want it to be lucrative and profitable. So they're not taking no losses to win. That's the true sign of a great owner. An owner that's willing to take losses to win. You know what I'm saying? And if they start winning and they get, they would have got the best power forward in the game, which I'm going to tell you who I think it was after doing some research, the money going to come in. They're going to raise the ticket prices up. They're going to be able to raise the jersey prices up and all of that, But it just, like I said before, a lot of them small market teams in the NBA can't afford it. But I think the power forward that he was talking about was Blake Griffin. 2007 free agency, Blake Griffin was the only dude that was a free agent, and he ended up going back to the Clippers, I believe. And then us, the Pistons, were stupid enough to trade for him, and we allowed the Clippers, by doing that trade, to get Kawhi and Paul George and put a super team together. So Clipper fans, if y'all win a championship anytime soon, make sure you buy some Detroit gear and shout us out, because we the reason y'all got a championship. But I think it was Blake Griffin, because the only other dude that was around there that was a free agent was Paul George. So I think he was saying it was Blake Griffin Paul Millsap. So I think he was saying Blake Griffin was the best power forward in the game at the time. And then I get it though, Paul George and Blake Griffin wouldn't have been able to win no championship, straight up and down. But that would have kept Paul George happy. But it seemed like they want to trade Paul George anyway because they didn't want to pay him. So, like I said, the NBA is rigged. It's rigged because the small market teams can't survive, bro. They'll never be able to win because, and if they win, they'll be able to afford these players. But the NBA only want the big market teams to win, And if you got a player like Lou Center, that's a big, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, it's a big fish in a small pond, they gonna get him out of there. They got Shaquille O'Neal out of Orlando. They gonna get Giannis out of Milwaukee. The only reason it worked for LeBron for a minute because he was from Akron, right there next to Cleveland. But at the end of the day, Paul George had to spit his piece. He gonna leave everybody anonymous, But like I said before, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You can be mad at Paul George, but Indiana just didn't want to afford him, so you got to move on. So if you're an Indiana Pacers fan or you're a small market fan, chances you win a championship is slim to none in the NBA. They don't have no parity, and they don't do nothing to help out do enough to help out a small market team. But yeah, let's talk about Nikola Jokić to close it out. Nikola Jokić, my favorite big fella, well, at least center in the league. He lost all his weight. Now they saying he got the Rona, so he can't leave Siberia. People say, oh, you see all that weight loss? That was due to the coronavirus. So he lost a lot of weight. I see if I put it in the thumbnail. He lost a lot of weight, man. And like I said before, man, he one of the most skillful dudes in the league. And I wish him a healthy recovery. But like I said before, man, a lot of these players that they trying to play in the NBA bubble, a lot of these players they trying to get to play in this bubble, dog, a lot of these players gonna get injured. A lot of these players, gonna have a Rona. And Nikola Jokić is just one player that got the Rona. So imagine if you tested you got 22 teams, and out of them 22 teams, you probably got, let's say you had 20 people per team, man. That's a lot of motherfucking people. You probably out of 1,000, let's say 1,000 people altogether, 1,200 people. How many people you gonna think had a Rona out of 1,200 people? I'm gonna say at least 30% of the league gonna have corona when they get tested. So they trying to start July 31st. They should have started putting these dudes in the bubble in June, like beginning of June. Anybody that's healthy, that's not healthy, that not healthy, you got a chance to quarantine, come back, test again, get back in the bubble, get your antibodies to help people out. So like I said before, Nikola Jokić not gonna end up being the biggest name if they keep it honest. Remember the two Lakers that had coronavirus, and they didn't name the two Lakers that was. I think LeBron had the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, man, this is how they playing, bro. I'm telling you, in the NFL and NCAA football, they're gonna have a tough time starting up because a lot of players are gonna test positive. 23 out of the 23 Clemson players that was tested positive for coronavirus. Some Cowboys tested positive. Some Texans tested positive. Some Broncos tested positive. And all these teams haven't even fully reported yet. You know, so, you know, for people trying to start the NBA season, it's going to be a rush. And then you got to quarantine, and everything you built up to start getting in shape, you losing all that in 2 or 3 weeks. And you might have to quarantine for 30 days. 10 to 14 days is supposed to pass. If it don't pass for 10 to 14, you got to quarantine for another 10 to 14. So like I said, man, people don't want to get it. It's just a rush job. They need to eat that money they losing. Then next year they can start off in a bubble. They can start off in 2 bubbles next year. You know, but they don't expect fans next year. But like I told you, people don't understand what I was saying. Oh, just start the league up, and I don't care if they got corona or not. You know how many players got corona and don't even know they got it? But people want to think like kids. They want to, like I said, the maturity level of grown men out here, it's appalling, bro. It's a lot of y'all that got the minds of 12 and 15-year-olds and don't follow politics, don't follow the history, don't know nothing, bro. It's like, you know, this curriculum in school is just it's failing people. Real talk. And maybe if we did go back to segregation, we can have our own curriculum to teach our black kids what they need to know in their history. People coming out of school and don't know nothing about their history, bro. They don't even teach politics in school like that no more. They don't teach taxes, you know, break down the paycheck, you know. But a lot of people want to live in their own little bubble. It's serious. Nikola Jokić is just gonna be the tip of the iceberg. There's gonna be a lot of big name players, so people gonna start their season, you know what I'm saying? You know, without Nikola Jokić, and then he got to get cleared and come over to Siberia and get tested again. Like I said, it is what it is, bro. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video questions. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal, subscription. Best way to donate, share the video. Check out our NBA Talk playlist, man. NBA 101, our live stream playlist. So I'll be doing more NBA lives as we creep up closer to the season to get more news. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Don't forget to check out the channel out if you're interested in my Detroit Piston Talk, Motor City Sports Talk, Lion Talk, everything Detroit. Right here on YouTube, Motor City Sports Talk. We gone.